sure it's on. Oh, we are live. Hi, sweetie. I am Karen Lippmann once again. I just want to introduce our two presenters today. We have Cindy Chaytor and we have Karen Lippmann, and they both teach here at Cleveland Albury. You'd be very lucky if you can get into one of their classes. And they're going to demonstrate the temperament test today. What's the first letter stand for?
AKC.
Oh, AKC Temperament Test. So that's called ATT. Did they get a title or a ribbon for that? Okay, great. So they're going to come forward. They're going to tell you a little bit about it. And I'm going to be doing the filming. So here we go.
Hi everyone, my name's Cindy, and I'm going to just give you a little breakdown about the temperament test, and we're going to do the different components with our dogs so that you actually see a test. Hopefully we're going to do one of these temperament tests here at Cleveland Albury. AKC developed this last year. It hasn't been around the area very often. I know Ashland has done it, Medina has done it, I know Pinnacle has done it, but it has not been really flooded the Cleveland area. So AKC has defined a temperament as an individual natural predisposition to react in a certain way to a stimulus, and behavior related to the temperament may be modified over time with experience and learning. It used to be that they defined temperament as though it was predictive, so that they would look at the dog's temperament. So if the dog was a German Shepherd and was fearful, then they would say he couldn't be a really good guard dog. Now they're saying, that it's prescriptive and that the behaviors can be modified, and you won't be able to change the dog's natural predisposition, the temperament, and temperament is breed specific also, and but you'll be able to modify the behavior so that they'll be able to manage unexplained stimuli in the environment, which is what it's really good for, especially for new owners. You know what your dog will be scared of. We do auditory, visual, tactile, unexpected stimuli, motion, those kinds of things that dogs come upon. And it gives them the opportunity to experience that in a controlled setting. It also gives AKC, or gives us, a way to standardize what is temperament and how to measure it. So you have to have two tests, and generally speaking the tests are on the same day, two different evaluators, and there's 4 components in each element, which we're going to go over. The other thing that AKC developed was a breed temperament guide. I don't know if you can see that, but when you come to the test, you will be given a breed temperament guide that will be kept at the desk when you sign in. But you have to look at your breed's temperament and say how closely it relates to your dog's temperament. Like Blue is a Dalmatian, which is stable, outgoing, reserved, and dignified. And I would say she is all of that, although she's not very outgoing. She's kind of selective in who she likes. But that goes with the dignified and reserved. So, and for mixed breeds, what you do, and this is open to mixed breeds, you have to have a PAL number and registered with AKC, but how closely related your dog is, whatever mix you think your dog is. Now I'm going to turn it over to Karen, and she's going to begin to talk to you about the actual test itself.
Hi everybody, thanks again for joining us. So this is the score sheet, which I know you can't really see, but that's okay. And Cindy and I are referring to a couple different forms. They're all on the AKC website. If you just Google AKC Temperament Test, it'll come up, and all the links are there, and all the forms, so you can see all of these forms on your computer. So as Cindy mentioned, there are 6 different areas that your dog will be tested on. And in each area there are 4 stimuli. Each test will have 3 stimuli that your dog needs to pass on. The scoring is from 0 to 4, where 0 is your dog totally refuses to do the stimuli, and 4 is that your dog is calm and confident and there's no startle response. So to pass the test, you have to score 3 or 4 on all of the items. You can have one item as a 1, but that's it to pass the test. You cannot pass if you get a 0 on anything, or if you have a 2 on 3 or more items. So as you go through these items, your dog is allowed to be startled, and especially some of them startle people too, like noises and visual things. But it's really about how fast your dog recovers from that startle. So if the dog recovers within 5 seconds and doesn't get aggressive or curious or anxious or whatever, that's fine, because it's totally normal for the dog to be startled by something that's unusual or that happens suddenly. So that's how the scoring goes, and yes, so that each, if you look at the score sheet, there's going to be 4 different stimuli under each one, and we're going to start with social. Social is always first.
Yeah.
And what did I miss, Cindy?
Yeah, I'm sorry. The other thing is, on most of these, you can only have one attempt.
Oh, that's right.
One attempt.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Sorry, forgot about
We
that.
forgot about social distancing.
So you can only have one attempt, except for the tactile and the motion one. You can have 3 attempts. But every time you attempt, you lose a point. And if you fail that, if the dog can't do it, then you're 0 and you fail the test. But those are the only ones that you're able to repeat. The other ones you have got to just
Do it on the first try.
do it on the first try.
Do most dogs get it the first time, or?
Well, it's interesting because AKC says that you can't train for this, but you certainly can work with your dog. I'm not really sure what the difference is, but I know that my dog, you're going to meet Dobby in a little bit, and Blue, and you're also going to meet Cindy's other dog, Blaze. We all practiced all these things to be sure that they were proficient in doing them before we paid the money and took the test. A couple of the items in particular that we're going to go through are very, you think like, oh, my dog can do that. Most dogs have problems with them. So it's something that you do need to expose your dog to in advance. Okay. The other thing I want to say is that AKC has sort of adjusted a little bit of the test items based on the pandemic and the social distancing. So again, we're not wearing our masks just because it would be too hard for you to understand us while we're explaining all this right now. For example, and I'm going to jump right into.
You said a little louder.
Go
ahead. Go ahead.
And I'm going to jump right into the first item, which is social. So here is our social station. And social, for those of you who are familiar with
I'm going to
CGC,
take this.
is a little bit similar to social. So again, there are 4 stimuli. You're going to do 3 at each test. If you do 2 tests at the same place, they are going to swap it out so that at the end of the day, if your dog takes 2 tests, your dog will be exposed to all 4 of the stimuli. So in social, the four stimuli are, the first one is greeting, and this is the evaluator would do, is greeting the dog and petting the dog. Greeting the handler and petting the dog. It's not greeting the dog and petting the handler, it's the other way around. So the second one is that
That's kind of funny.
So the second one is that the evaluator approaches and does a brief exam of the dog, where you're just running your hands over the dog's back and their legs and lifting their ears. So just a brief exam. The third one is that Cindy and Blue, the handler, will approach somebody who's standing, who then will pet the dog. And then the fourth one is that a third person will approach the dog carrying some items and then pet the dog. So again, social distancing, we're going to do some waving. Cindy's got a 6-foot leash, so I can call Blue to me, and Cindy and I can stay away. And as you can see, Blue's not wearing a mask either. So the first one is greeting the handler and petting the dog.
This is greeting the handler and petting the dog. Okay.
Because that's all we can do. And then I need to pet the dog. So I'm going to say, Blue. Oh.
Nice.
And that's pretty much it. So that's just one stimuli. So the second one is that I'm going to approach and I'm going to do a brief exam of Blue. So I'm like, Blue. So I'm just going to run my hand over her back and down her legs and look at her ears and give her a pet. And that's pretty much it. So the next one is Cindy's going to approach me, and then I'm going to pet the dog. And this one's a little tricky again because I still have to call Blue over to me for social distancing. So Blue, hey. So, and then the last one is a person approaching carrying some stuff. So I've got this bag of miscellaneous junk, and I'm going to approach Blue holding all this junk and then pet her. So the key is that she's not taken aback by me carrying all this stuff with me. So, hi Blue. Oh, that's a good girl. So as you can see, Blue would have scored a 4 on all of these items because she had no startle response, she was calm and cool and collected, and there was no problem in any of these.
Excellent.
Okay, so now...
Good job, Blue.
Yeah, we're going to go to the next one, which is auditory, which the sign fell down because the wind keeps blowing.
Oh, I'll put it up.
You'll put it up? Okay.
Yeah.
So during this, again, there are 4 stimuli, and each test is going to have... That sign does not want to stay.
There you go. Auditory. Can you all see that?
Auditory.
Got it.
So there are 4 stimuli, and the dog has to be okay with each of those, walking by each of these. Normally, I think it's a 3 to 4 foot distance from the actual sound, but because of social distancing, everything's at 6 to 8 feet. So the 4 items that we're going to review are, the first one is a shake bottle, so it's basically just a plastic bottle with some coins or rocks in it.
And this is Dobby,
And
right?
Oh yes, this is Dobby. Dobby, say hello. So, the next one is I forgot to plug in, is a vacuum cleaner. You can use a handheld, but we just pulled out the shop vac because it was easier.
Yeah.
The third one.
Oh, they want you to talk louder or be mic'd. And I don't have a mic that reaches that far,
I'm gonna
so
talk
just
louder.
talk loud.
I will talk louder. Sorry about that. I don't want to scream at anyone, but I'll talk louder. Okay, Dobby said talk louder.
There's your auditory test.
Yeah, right. So, all right. So a shake hand or a shake bottle with some coins in it, a vacuum cleaner, a loud whistle, and a bike horn. So those are the 4 things. So we're going to demo this now. If Cindy's ready.
Cindy can't find it.
And it's on the front where your hand was. Yeah, right there on the. And I'll show Cindy where the on-off switch is. Okay. So again, we're going to walk by.
Oops, let me back up.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Or where I should go over here.
You go over there.
Okay, and sorry if I'm making you guys dizzy. I'm trying to minimize all the movement here.
And the dog has to be on the side of the sound. So I'm not going to walk Dobby on my right. She has to be on my left because I'm going to walk by.
Okay.
But when I come by this way, she's going to have to switch to the other side. So we're going to walk by.
Okay, so Dobby has to be on the side of the sound, and that's what. So Karen has.
That would have been a 3 because she
That was a
had to
3.
do it, but she wasn't nervous or anxious.
A 3 because she wasn't reactive, nervous, or anxious. Yeah, they're having trouble hearing.
So we're going to go. So, okay. So again, you can see your dog can react to everything, but they just have to show that it's normal. If you walk by someone who was whistling, you would look and see what that was. It doesn't mean that you're afraid or nervous or aggressive to it. So the next one, I'm going to switch sides with her. Mask and so she's just excited because I think she thinks she's going to get something to eat.
Okay.
And then the last one is the vacuum.
Okay, she did well on that one. No excitement, so that would have been a 4,
That
correct?
number 4.
Wow, that was really good.
So again, that would have been a 4. So she can look at it and notice it, but she's not anxious or nervous or afraid of it.
Can you do that one more time? Because she went so fast.
The vacuum?
Or is that hard? Yeah.
That's fine. Hold
Okay.
on. I'm lifting.
Nice.
Okay, so that's basically auditory. And here, Daddy.
I'm going to get closer.
Okay. So now we're going to go to tactile. You want to go to the tactile sign?
Yes.
I'll walk with you so we can hear. So the tactile one that you'll see, you can see on the floor, you might have seen on the floor, you've got a piece of foam with lattice on it. You've got a tarp. You have a foam mattress with a pegboard on it. And you have the ever-dreaded crate on the floor. Wire crate on the floor.
Okay, the wire crate on the floor is right here.
Now, the interesting thing to note in this, with these 4 items, where I said that they'll pick 3 for each test, the wire crate must be an element in every test. So these the other 3 will be, they'll pick 2, and then for the next test, they'll pick 2 of these. But the crate has to be in all of them. The crate is one of those things that I said that you think your dog can do it, and most dogs have a lot of trouble with it. I know with Dobby that I had to work with her. They don't like walking on it. So I'm going to show, we're going to start over here with the easy ones, and I'm going to walk Dobby over these, and she doesn't really care about these. You need to, when you walk your dog past these, you cannot walk on them. It's just your dog to walk
Okay,
on.
only your dog can walk on these, not Karen.
Okay.
She's not allowed. Nice job.
So, as you can see, Dobby just walked over them like normal. Let's see if I can get her to do the wire crate, which is the tricky one. So here we go. And I'll do it again.
Nice.
So you did a very good job, Dobby. So, that again, like I said, the wire crate, that took a lot of work with Dobby to get her normal to work on it. She tried to jump it. She tried to buck over it. It took a lot of work for me to get her to be comfortable with it. Because this is one of the tricky things, we're going to have Cindy with her other dog, Blaze, who doesn't like doing this, and she's going to show you how she's working with Blaze on these items, and a little bit of how she's training Blaze to walk on the wire crate. So we're going to go over here to Cindy and Blaze, right
Okay.
behind you.
I'm just going to ask you guys to, between moving and talking,
Yes.
to go a little slow because I don't want to whip the camera around
Okay.
because it can make some people sick. Okay.
So this is Blaze, and
Oh.
much to his disappointment, he's here. He's 11. He's not as well trained as Blue. He's got a few titles, but not many. And he's kind of an anxious guy. But we're gonna give this a try because we wanted to just show you. You know, a lot of people say this is really easy, but most of the people, when I evaluated it, a lot of people flunked the wire crate. Their dogs just wouldn't do it, or the lattice, because it's the whole feeling about their feet. Come here, Blaze. Ready? Ready, Carolyn? We're gonna.
Yeah, go ahead.
So you did that pretty well. Come here, Blaze. Come here, Blaze. Come here. Come here, Blaze. Come on. All right. So they didn't do too badly, except he's not even focused.
He didn't do too badly, but he's not even focused on it.
Come here, Blaze.
Okay. Now I'm going to step back for the crate, so you won't be able to hear her, but I'll repeat what she says.
Ready? That's a failure.
That's a failure
It's one attempt.
because he came off the edge. Okay.
Go all the way down. And he did it.
He did it. Yeah. Good dog.
Good job.
He knew he was on film.
That's right.
So if your dog has trouble, and AKC has all this stuff that we're talking to you about, you go to AKC website and put in temperament test, and everything you ever wanted to know about temperament is on the website. And they also have a thing about how to train, I don't want to call it training, but how to teach about sight, sounds, and stimuli. So they're recommending that, like with a big dog like Blaze, instead of training all the way down, to go diagonal and just walking diagonal.
Okay, I'm going to step back and you can do that again. Now she's going to walk diagonal. This is the way AKC suggests that you start training it instead of trying to go for big dogs, instead of trying to go down the entire thing.
So I'm going to walk in diagonal. So that he gets the feel for it.
Uh-huh.
And for a little dog, they always said, just start with one section, add
Okay.
2 sections,
Okay.
3 sections.
So she said a little dog, you start with one section, add the next section, and then the next section, and that makes it easier for them.
The
Yeah.
other thing I do for Blaze, sit, stay, stay.
Oh, you put the treats down in there.
Yeah, he's so focused on treats, he doesn't realize what he's doing.
Yeah. She said he's so focused on treats. He doesn't, she does, what? He doesn't realize what he's doing. Oh, like a GPS. Yeah.
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 Yeah, but it gets him used to the feeling on his feet.
Uh-huh.
And the thing is that when you talk about this kind of stuff and you're like, well, why would you do that? And I agree, the utility of this thing is just beyond me. But if your dog, if you're taking them to unusual places or on unusual surfaces, they need to have the feel for the different surfaces that their paws are going to be on. And I have one girl, Grace Ann. Grace bucked until she got out of her collar. She was so upset about and I had her on lattice and she threw up. So it's not that easy. And really, I guess it's for younger dogs, and then you can train your dog if you have a fearful dog or how they react. You always want to watch the reaction. And that's kind of what you're training for is the behavior so that they feel safe in doing the activity that does not change their temperament. Someone might be shy and can do public speaking, but they're still shy because that's their natural tendencies. We're not trying to change their temperament, we're trying to modify behavior.
So
Karen,
so let's say they don't pass then, right?
right.
That doesn't mean they can't pass later, but they're still going to have the same, you're just getting them to be more tolerant?
Right.
Is that kind of what you're saying?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, if you have to do it twice, and if you don't pass, then you just go to another test and try again. Or you'll pass in the afternoon, and for whatever reason, they didn't pass in the morning. There's different variations with dogs. Like he's pretty unpredictable in his behavior. Blue's not so unpredictable, but Blue is well trained. And a lot of these people that did the temperament test that I evaluated were pet people and people that just wanted to do something fun with their dogs, and it's a title, and it was a fun experience. It really is. It's sort of like Farm Dog. It's just fun, and don't make it any deeper than that,
Yeah.
So I'm going to turn it over to
Okay.
Karen and
Would
put
you
this poor boy in the car.
Okay, great. Thank you very much, Cindy. I think you're going to be back too.
Yes, she's
Could-
be back. We're swapping. Thanks for being patient with us.
Could you just bring me the tripod? Because I think that might help me stabilize it a little bit better.
All right, so you talk, Karen.
Yeah, I'll talk. There, I'm talking. We're doing our best to keep the sound up, and I don't want to make you too dizzy. So we'll try to slow it down just a little bit so I don't have to move the camera as much, but I want you to be able to see what they're doing because it's really fascinating, actually. So I'm hoping this will stabilize things a little bit if I put it in a tripod. So bear with us. I was, I didn't sleep at a Holiday Inn last night, so.
So, yeah, and I've been known to make people dizzy, so I apologize for that. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do is we're going to walk over to visual, and we're going to walk slowly.
And we're going to talk
We're
loudly.
going to talk really loud, and we're going to go to visual.
Okay.
So in visual, your dog's going to walk by, and there's going to be some visual stimuli that they are not supposed to react poorly to. So the four, remember there's 3 items in each test. There's a variety of 4 items. So the 4 items are a roller bag or a cart that goes around them, a streamer on a stick, a towel that you shake, and then, again, the most unpopular umbrella. Now, like in the Tactile, where the wire crate is in every test, the umbrella is in every test. So that happens to be the item that dogs have a lot of problems with. Now, Blue, when she took her test, she really didn't like the umbrella. And it was so bad that all of Blue's spots came off and they were all over the floor. Cindy had to stop, scoop up the spots, and put them back on Blue because she really, really was afraid
You're
of that
such a
umbrella.
nice owner.
She is. She is. So, again, we have the umbrella, the cart or roller bag or wagon, the streamer on a stick, and the towel. So again, this is where you walk by. Your dog has to be on the side of the stimuli. You can't be between the stimuli, you and the dog and the stimuli. And again, it used to be 3 to 4 feet, and now it's 6 feet because of social distancing. So okay. I'm going to start here.
I'm going to back up so they can see, and they won't be able to hear you. You can approach the camera or say something, and I'll repeat it.
Okay. So the cart.
We're doing the cart.
Okay, so again, Blue noticed the cart and looked at it, which is fine, but she didn't shy away from it, she didn't get aggressive with it, she didn't get afraid of it. And that's what you're looking for, so that would have been a 4. So now Cindy's going to walk by. You come over there, Carolyn, because she's going to walk back and forth.
Okay. Oh, you're walking that direction. Yeah, I get it. Okay, you guys, this is, oh, I'm so sorry. This is scrappy here. Here we go. All right. Oh, neat. So Cindy is talking a little bit to Blue. She's saying it's okay. She's saying, come on, Blue. Ready? Go.
They were not a pass.
So that last one, Blue would not have passed because she shied away from it and she couldn't walk that close to it, so that would not have been a pass. Now you can have treats on you, right? No treats on you, I'm sorry, my bad. No treats on you, but you can talk to your dog a little bit. It can't be excessive, but a little bit. So you can give your dog a command like heel or with me or whatever you need as you're walking. But you can't be having whole long conversations with your dog while you do it. All right, now we're going to do the umbrella. This actually should be kind of interesting because Blue really does not like this umbrella.
And we're torturing her.
Oh, that's a nice, like, not too loud of an umbrella, too. You picked a good umbrella. Nice. She didn't even seem to react.
So I'm coming up here so I can talk again. Okay, so Blue didn't mind the umbrella at all. Now I know that it's important when you do the umbrella that you're not, that the person, for this test you need a lot of volunteers, as you can see. You're not supposed to point the umbrella at the dog when it opens up because that's just really kind of aggressive. I wouldn't want someone to do that to me. But you're supposed to just hold it to your side like I did and open it, and all of these stimuli as the dog is walking by. So that's basically the visual. We're now going to move on to the proprioceptive, which no one knows what that word is. It's just...
I do.
Oh, well,
Proprioception is when you know where your limbs are.
Oh, okay.
Like if you put weight on your paw, you should. If I tipped your foot up, toes up, you'd want to straighten your toes.
Oh, okay.
Sorry.
So we call it motion.
Yeah.
And again, there are 4 stimuli. You'll have 3 in each test. So the 4 stimuli are jumping on a table, going through a ladder or a cavaletti. I'm going to talk loudly. A wobble board or a low teeter, and then walking through hoops. I would say probably the most difficult one for dogs is actually walking through hoops. Cindy and I, when we teach a puppy 2 class here at Cleveland All-Breed, we throw the hoops out for the puppies, and there are some puppies who will not even put one paw in one hoop.
I'm going to show them the hoops.
So
Yeah.
go show them the hoops. And it's basically about 6 hoops that are interlocking on the floor, kind of the way that they are there.
Okay, so just to recap that really quick, in case I didn't have the camera close enough, she has a table, she has a wobble board, cavalettis, or in this case a ladder,
Or a ladder, which works.
and the rings. And then you were saying with the puppies, you would,
We would use this in our puppy 2 class just to build up confidence in puppies.
The hoops.
The hoops. Actually, all of these. But the hoops especially, there's a lot of puppies who they won't, I mean, in 6 weeks, we could maybe get them to put one paw in one hoop. So it's for some dogs, it's harder than you think. So Dobby is pretty much a bomb-proof dog. So I'm going to take her on all of these things. Come on, Dobby.
okay, give me a second to back up.
Okay, so we're going to wait for Carolyn.
Yeah, this is harder to film than I thought.
Okay. Well, I mean, when we were going to do it ourselves.
That would have been even harder. I mean, you would have been really far away from everything. So, thank you, Cheryl. Okay. Nice job. I bet you they can hear him. Her. Just called her a him. It's kind of hard sometimes to tell the difference between excitement and reactivity.
And she's looking for Dobby, she's just looking for food when she does something. Somebody, I'm not sure who, trained her that she gets a treat when she does something well. So that is the motion, and that's, again, how that works. Now, the last one is probably the strangest of all of them, and that is the unexpected stimulus.
Oh.
So in this one, you're going to have a hide, or I'll follow you, Carolyn.
Oh, sorry.
No, it's okay. You're going to have a hide, and you're going to have a volunteer
So-
who's behind the hide.
Okay, so she's saying there's a hide, which is this big umbrella.
Right? So it says unexpected
And I just
stimulus.
want to show you the sign real quick so you know what she's saying. This is the force station, and this is unexpected stimuli.
Right.
So I think now you can see that sign, right? And then what you're seeing in front of me is a giant, like, tent or umbrella.
Right.
And she's calling that a hide, H-I-D-E. Okay, sorry, Karen, go
That's
ahead.
okay. So you could have a person coming out from behind a hide or from another room. It depends how the test is set up. So you're going to be in one place with your dog, and there's going to be 4 different unexpected stimuli that are going to come out from the hide. So one is a person who's going to be coming out carrying a large box and different objects. The second one is someone who's going to come out with a chair, and they're going to drop the chair. The third one is somebody who's coming out who's using crutches or a walker or a wheelchair. And the fourth is someone who quickly comes out and is wearing strange clothes. So the strange clothes can be anything from a costume to a funny hat, a funny jacket,
Mask.
a mask, yes, a mask, anything that's sort of that the dog wouldn't normally see. So, and the handler and the dog stay in one spot. So Cindy's going to come out 4 times, and
Okay.
Dobby has to
Just-
basically not react.
Let me set up the camera real
Go
quick,
back.
okay?
Go back
And Sonia made a good point. She said it'd be good if someone was talking near the camera and the other person demoing. But for this one, we do need two demo people. So I am going to move back so that you can see everything. And I apologize. Yeah, the sound is a little bit of an issue. It would be great if we could do this again, that we invest in some remote, mics. So Cindy's going. She's bringing a bunch of stuff out. And you can see Dobby. I'm going to move over a little bit so you can see Dobby better. And now she's coming out on crutches. Dobby doesn't care. Well, this is a challenge because this is the chair drop. Does it count if I jump?
Yeah.
I don't know, Karen. Here's the outfit. Very nice. That was a hat and a big shawl, so that's hard.
So Dobby doesn't care. I think because she has a lot of strange people in her life that she sees all the time, that she really doesn't. It doesn't bother her when people are weird. I don't know. Maybe she got that from me. I'm not really sure. But anyways, that's us running through the test and the different 6 stations. And again, you need to take the test. You need to take it twice and pass twice. Most places offer it once in the morning, once in the afternoon, or twice in a day. So you can actually get your title in one day. It is a title that you get. And
what are the letters?
ATT.
ATT.
ATT, which stands for AKC Temperament Test. So again, all of the paperwork that we showed, not the training, but the conditioning to stimuli document that AKC has, the breed information, the score sheet, all of this stuff is available on the AKC website. If you just look up temperament test, all of the links are there, all of the forms are there. And so Cindy and I are evaluators. Evaluators can be any, if you want to become an evaluator, you can. Any CGC evaluator can be a temperament evaluator, and obedience judges, and I think that's it. There may be one other category that is allowed to be an ATT evaluator. And it's an online test that you take through their Canine College, I think it's called.
And it's all volunteer on your part, but you could potentially charge for it, I suppose, right?
Well, you do charge for the test. And then AKC, of course, gets their piece of that as well. And then I believe, do you pay when you send it in for your title? So then, yeah, I think it's $25, I believe, if you have your 2 passes. You send in all your paperwork with your check or your credit card number to get the title, and then that is added actually quite quickly, more quickly than other stuff, to your dog's name.
Yeah.
And what did we forget, Cindy?
And the interesting thing is that AKC has set this up that only clubs,
Yes.
AKC clubs, can do this. For
Oh.
CGC, as a CGC evaluator, I do not have to be affiliated with a club. To do farm dog, I do not have to be affiliated with a club. But this one, you have got to be affiliated with a club. So if you're a CGC evaluator and you want to do this, you have to find a club that's willing to sponsor it, because they want this to go through the clubs. So that's an interesting variation for AKC.
So, if you have any questions, I know we were moving a lot, and I think it was hard to hear, and I apologize for that. But if you have any questions, you can reach out to Carolyn, who can find Cindy and I, or to Cindy and I directly, or you could ask them.
There are some questions here, so why don't we have a little time, so let's do some questions. And again, I'm sorry. I thought the filming would be easier for me, but I think we're learning.
We're learning, and you know what? And Cindy and I were gonna film this and put the film on. We quickly realized that there's no way that the two of us could do this and one person film, and that's why we said, Carolyn, we need to do.
Yeah,
we need to do somebody to
and you
help
can
us
see
with the
professional equipment. I wouldn't, you guys see the lights in the ceiling, and I don't want you to have to look at those lights, but the only way for me to do that is to raise the tripod and it's as high as it goes, or to raise this up in the air because I'm so short, and hold it still, but then it's not very steady. So it's an interesting challenge for the filming. Okay, let's see what we have here for the questions or comments. So you guys did such a fabulous job, really. So we have Elaine Bloom here, Gail Geiger, Karen Hardy. They say hello. Hi, Cindy. Good to see you.
Hi.
Margie says hello or hey. Sandy Novicki is watching. Margie said she was seeing spots.
Could be.
Yeah.
And Karen Mills, well, we had a little hard to hearing thing, but we tried to fix it. Sonia says, good to see you. Fran Dasek is watching. I hope I pronounced that right. Hard to hear you, yeah. So we're working, but they said I'm good. They could hear me, and that's all that's really important, right?
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Cindy Tuckerman Fink is here. Cheryl Satrich. Fran said, good dog Blue. And Sonia, Sonia said, could someone else be moving around and she could be closer to the mic? Yeah, that's a good suggestion because we're going to do more of this. And Sarah Lee is here, Uli, Donna Harris, and let's see, Trevor's barking at Dobie.
Oh.
Wait,
Dobby,
I said
you've
that,
got
Dobby.
friends, Dobby. You've got
I do
friends.
that every time I think it's Dobby, and then I say it's Dobie because I think it's Dobby, but it's not. It's Dobby.
It's Dobby.
Okay, Viola. Karen said, yeah, that's much better with the sound. Hi, my friend. Dobie.
Dobby.
Dobby. I cannot get it right.
Rhymes with Bobby.
Bobby.
Lobby.
Bobby.
Snobby.
Snobby. Ray is here. And Karen said Dalmatians are so smart. Connie's here. Fran asks, is temperament testing what breeders do when they try to decide which people will get which puppy? Do they use this temperament test?
So, not this one. There is a special puppy temperament test that I know when I am looking at, and I've done this several times, I've looked at puppies, 8-week-old puppies, 7-week-old puppies to determine if they would be good for service dogs. And there is, and I forget the name, it escapes my brain right now, but there is a special test that you can do with puppies to determine if they have the right, or they probably have the right temperament to be a good service dog. This you have to be a year old to take.
There is a temperament test too that I know Gail Watkins, who spoke earlier, she has for puppies, and I helped out another breeder to go through that test, but that's for puppies as opposed to service
there's a
dog.
specific one for puppies. This the dogs have to be a year old.
And then Sonia answered that, and she said no. Kristen Zielinski does involve she says it's about the temperament test for puppies. She said it does involve many similar things, but on a much smaller scale. Cheryl said good work. Sue McGinty's here. And then Karen said, Carolyn, you're volunteering to do this again? I didn't say that. And Sonia said, Cindy, that you get a 10 for the crutch work. And Bob Elliott's here. Awesome demonstration, ladies. Thank you. Thanks. Good to know about this test. Susie Perry said how fun, and the list goes on. Oh, let me see if there's any more questions. Are the temperaments of the different breeds taken into consideration? A Malinois is not going to react the same as a lab.
Yes, and the thing that I forgot is when you first start out, I talked about the breed temperament guide. So you write down and say, mine's a Dalmatian, this is it. So when I go in, the judge is going to say, I see you have a Dalmatian. How closely does it match the breed temperament guide? What did you learn about it? So the judge or the evaluator, and you talk about your dog. So that there is expectations around the breed specific. That's why they did that, as a temperament thing.
Good to know.
So for Dobby, who is an All-American, or like I like to call her, a mutt. I basically just, and I have no idea what breed she is. She's a true Heinz 57. But, so I just basically said,
Get a closer look at her here.
this is, yeah, if anyone wants to make a guess, you're free to make a guess. Dobby, look at the camera. So.
Yep.
So I just put down what her, how she was and what her temperament is and how she behaved and then the evaluator basically said, yep, that looks like her. So.
And,
Go ahead, Cindy.
and the other thing is,
Sit.
it's really the startle response that they're looking at. The expectation is that the dog isn't going to startle. Like, they're going to startle, but it's how quickly they recover from that startle. If it's less than 5 seconds, more than 10, that's how you evaluate whether you get a 2 or 3 or a 4, is how long it takes them to recover. Blue got, when we actually did the test, I mean, really seriously, she jumped as high as my shoulder when she went by that umbrella. She got a 2 on that. I mean, and I think she was being generous, really, because that really scared her. And she finally recovered, but it took her a minute to recover. And if they just look or they startle, the judge is going to take that into consideration. We're not looking for perfect scores, but we are looking for the recovery period, if that makes sense at all.
But then talk about when she shied away from the.
Well, she shied away.
From the
when we were
streamer.
doing the demonstration, she shied away and walked over on my side. She wasn't even going to participate in the whole exercise. I mean, she just was like, I can't deal with that. That's too stressful today. And so, that's the other thing you've got to say is, what is predictable about your behavior? I wouldn't have expected that from Blue today. Blue's done that I don't know how many times and not had a problem, and today she did.
Yeah.
So,
But then she did the umbrella.
And then she did the umbrella today.
Now she's really familiar with this club too, so that could have something to do with some of the temperament testing too, right?
Right.
They're
Yes.
used to it, so that's
So
helpful.
thank you for listening.
Yeah.
And I hope
Oh,
this was helpful.
Wait, any more questions?
wait.
She's looking at the
Cheryl says, "Come on, Carolyn." Uli was sitting on a ladder. Deb Kaufman's here. Oh, Bob Elliott. Last one he said, "Love Dobby and Annie, all-star Americans."
Oh.
Yeah. So this was really a fabulous demonstration, you guys. I think if, even if someone's not ready to take the test, if they did take the test and they didn't do well, it's good information to have about your dog, right? So, and hi, Leah. So thank you so much. Anything else you want to close out with?
Well, the only other thing that we think that this is a good test to do for breeders, that if you're breeding and then you have puppies, you can say, well, my dog has her temperament title, which means that she's that she's good in a lot of different environments with through all of this different stuff. So you want to talk about that?
I think that says it all. If you're a breeder and you have a temperament test on your dog, it's just like a CGC. You go to a hotel and you say, my dog's got a CGC. They're like, they perk up, right?
Yeah.
Like, we know what a CGC is, but they really perk up over that. And you want potential buyers, and you want to assure your buyers that you're doing everything you can for your breeding program.
Yeah.
So.
Very nice. Thank you. So
Thank
that's
you, everybody.
Karen Lippmann and Cindy Chaytor.
Yes.
And
Thanks.
we had Dobby
And Blaze.
and Blaze
And Blue.
and Blue.
So, thank you guys, everybody.
Thank you.
Okay, take care.
Take
Bye-bye.
care.